What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your favorite sign guy. So we're on video too. Kind of got a special one for you. You know, I can't lie, I'm getting more comfortable in front of the camera. Love it. So, yeah, this one is a pretty interesting video. We were contacted by the lead developer of a brand new apartment complex that was being built here in Windsor, Ontario. And the concept behind the building is actually very, very, very interesting. I've never heard of something like this before. When he got in contact with us, he was kind of explaining the whole idea behind the building and how it would kind of help out the people living there, and also how he's kind of integrated the systems to be sort of an ecosystem within itself. It was just a really interesting concept, and we were very happy to be a part of it. So what I'm going to show you guys is an interview between myself and the lead developer, Ray Blanchard. He's the one who kind of masterminded the whole thing behind the Bitcoin building. He told me the idea that he wanted for the sign and how he wanted it to look, and we just got to work and got it done for him. One thing I want you guys to keep in mind with this video, or to like think about, is a question that I've kind of been pondering to myself. And that question is, what is an artist, right? So what kind of makes up an artist? What is artistry? What does that look like? Is it just a person who's able to take a pen or paint and, you know, be able to draw something? Or is it, or could an artist be somebody who builds a rocket ship, right? Can an engineer be an artist? I think the answer is pretty obvious, but when you think about that concept, I think you'll get different answers that a lot of people will have. But anyway, think about that when you listen to the interview. Thank you to the Bitcoin building and to Ray Blanchard for, you know, letting us be a part of his idea. And hope you guys enjoy. So I guess we'll just get right into it then, right? Okay, so what's going on, guys? We're at the this is THK Shea with Osmosis Glow. I'm here at the Bitcoin building with the lead developer, Ray Blanchard. He designed, kind of like architect this entire establishment. So thank you for the interview.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so talk to me. So how did you come up with, where are we? What is the whole concept? Talk to me. What is this about?
Basically, I've been a real estate investor for the last 10 years or whatever, and I was just doing small flips, single family, double duplexes and stuff. And I realized I wanted to do something bigger. Okay. And I just got out of my partnership with another guy back in 2020, and then of course COVID hit, right? And so COVID hits, and I'm sitting on a bunch of, not a lot of money, but a certain amount of money to invest. And I decided, great, opportunity, let's go shopping. So I put out offers to 3 different commercial properties that were all boarded up here in Windsor. And I said, who wants to come to the table? Let's make a good deal. And so I made a good deal on this place. I bought this place. I didn't have to go to a bank. The owner financed the purchase for me. I just had to put a little bit of money down, and I took possession of it.
So before you get into taking possession of it, what was it? And what did you turn it into?
So this was a nightclub, and it actually had been a lot of different variations of a nightclub for years. The last iteration was called Yager House Nightclub, and it pretty much catered to teens and 20-somethings, and it had a lot of problems. There was a lot of fights afterwards, and there was drugs and there was violence as well. The place got shut down in July of 2018 because someone got stabbed here.
Oh, really?
And okay. I'm not sure if the person died or not, but we have no ghosts. But anyways, it was shut down. And when I took over, it was just like everyone just left one night. Like drinks were still on the bar, beers were still in the fridge, everything.
So there was still product here
Full nightclub.
from like 2 years later.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it had been sitting vacant for a year and a half. The owner had been losing money, you know, just paying property taxes and utilities to keep it heated and stuff, and wasn't bringing in any income. So I approached him. I made a really aggressive offer. He countered, and we came to a deal, and he financed the whole deal. I put a little bit of money down. I took over, and I realized that this place could be a multi-family apartment building because the zoning was there. The zoning was there for residential, right?
Okay.
So my original plan was to do just a regular apartment building. You know, you get 13 tenants paying long-term rents, but over time the idea developed, and now we're basically Windsor's only boutique hotel.
Okay, so talk to me. So the idea developed from a multifamily unit into what? And how did that come about?
So that came about because it's an interesting story. So the downtown Windsor has this program called a community improvement program. Okay. And they incentivize people who are building new residential down here. And the biggest incentive is the tax freeze, right? So if you put in new residential in downtown, if you convert commercial to residential, they give you a certain amount of money per unit, but they also freeze your taxes. Now they'll freeze your taxes for 5 years if you just put in residential, but they'll freeze your taxes for 10 years if you go above and beyond and you do what's called LEED certification. LEED is a rating, a certification that you get for being really, really ultra high energy efficient. If you get LEED certification, your building is in the top 5% of all buildings in North America for energy efficiency.
Okay.
We're actually going to be LEED Gold, which means we're in the top quarter of 1% of all buildings in North America for energy efficiency.
Wow, okay.
All right. So this is one of the most energy efficient buildings in the world. Like right now, are you cold in here?
No, I'm not.
No,
actually.
we have had no.
And there's nothing.
We've had no heat on for weeks.
Oh wow.
And it's not cold in here.
I didn't even think about.
Yeah,
that.
it's not even cold in here.
Okay.
And you can hardly. And we got a DJ spinning records upstairs, and you can hardly hear it when we're in this unit, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So it's really tight for air tightness and for energy efficiency. It's great. So that program that frees your taxes, I looked at it, I was like, if I can get my property taxes frozen for 10 years, I'll go for that.
Yeah.
So I went for the LEED certification. And one of the biggest things about getting the LEED certification was putting solar on the roof. I have a 5,000 square foot roof, and we're putting 185 solar panels. And I'm very aggressive. I wanted to get as much energy as I could. And we're actually going to be the first net zero carbon building in all of Ontario, all of Eastern Ontario, Eastern Canada.
Wow.
Ever, because our solar panels are going to produce almost twice as much energy as the building will consume.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
And so I started thinking about that. I started thinking, okay, well, how am I going to use up all of that extra energy, right? I can't sell it to the grid. The microfit program is gone. Basically, if you don't use up the energy, Enwin just says, thank you very much. And they take your energy and that's it. They don't pay you for it.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, and they don't let you transfer to another building. You have to use it on that property. So I was thinking, how am I going to use that extra energy? And I have this this one little small 130 square foot commercial spot to keep my zoning. So I said, you know what? I'm going to convert that into a Bitcoin mining farm.
That's crazy.
And the Bitcoin, I got 2 Bitcoin miners, which you saw.
Yeah.
You can show pictures to your audience. But those 2 Bitcoin miners will eat up just as much energy as this whole building combined.
Wow.
As all the apartments combined.
Wow.
So that's how I'm using up. I'm getting free energy to mine Bitcoin. Right. So I'm going to make extra good money on mining Bitcoin because it's not costing me anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it costs me the money to get the solar, but you get tax incentives and stuff. So because of that, that's when I started thinking about Bitcoin. That's when I started thinking, well, why don't I just brand the whole building Bitcoin? Because originally I was going to call this the Blanchard Boutique Apartments. Yeah. Right. But then when I had the Bitcoin money, I was like, no, this is the Bitcoin building.
I like it.
Right?
So the Bitcoin concept came out
from
of
the CIP program.
So it came from trying to offset the energy usage.
Yeah, trying to use up the excess energy that we were generating from the solar.
Right.
And so that's how it came about. And then of course I designed a system where we're not only are we mining Bitcoin to use up the energy, but the Bitcoin mining gives off a lot of heat and a lot of noise. Now the noise we're mitigating by all the acoustic panels in that room, right? So you won't be able to hear it. But the heat, that room's going to get up to over 40 degrees, right? Fahrenheit, or 40 degrees Celsius, sorry. And all that heat, I was thinking, how can I use that heat, right? So I designed a system to capture that heat and use it to heat the hot water of the building, all right? So the building's hot water is produced almost for free. Wow. And then we're gonna duct that heat into the common corridor. I can't put it into the apartments because the apartments have to be self-contained, right? So, but I can duct it into the corridors of the building, the hallways and the stairwells. So in the wintertime, all the heating for the stairwells and the hallways will be all free because it's coming from the Bitcoin mining, which is actually making my money.
Yeah. That's crazy. So did you develop that
I did. I came up with that. And we're the first apartment building in the world, and the first in the world to actually integrate Bitcoin mining into the mechanical system of the building.
First building in the world?
Not the first building.
Okay.
There are some, as far as I'm aware, there are some greenhouses in Quebec that have already started using the heat to heat the greenhouses. They're producing, vegetables and plants, and then they're also Bitcoin mining, and the Bitcoin mining is producing the heat to keep to grow the vegetables, right? But that's a greenhouse. We're the first residential property that I'm aware of that is integrated Bitcoin mining into the mechanical system of the building.
Wow, that's really interesting. So, the last question, you came up with the Bitcoin building, kind of, I don't want to say off of a whim, but out of a necessity. Like it kind of just flowed into that in terms of the branding, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So how does neon fit into that whole concept? I'll preface it with this, right?
Sure.
How we met through Brett, and we were kind of
just met on one day on the street.
One day on the street, we're just talking, But then when he told you that we made signs and all that, you were extremely excited about it, and you just wanted to really get it done right away. Absolutely. So what was behind that?
Well, I was running. You know what? It was Brent's sign, the cookie bar, which. No. Okay, he has a neon sign out front, and I talked to him about the sign, and he said, you can go to this guy or this guy. And that day, I just happened to come by to Brent, and I was talking about a sign, and I saw the sign for the night market at the right across the street. We run the night market, and you did all the signs for that. And I said, Brent, do you know who did that sign? Because it looks great. And you just happened to be on his patio at the time. And we were like, okay, let's talk. And then I was like, okay. And then, and honestly, it was the fact that you could do it so quickly. I mean, I love the fact that you were local. You're just a block away from me, right? I love the fact that I'm supporting local businesses, right? Because I want to make a lot of associations with local businesses, right? But the fact that you could do it so quickly, and I saw the quality. The quality's good. And I was like, and obviously lighting up this place, you can see it's all lit up we're lighting this up like South Beach, Miami. Sure. Florida, Windsor's being called the Florida of Canada, right? Because we have the warmest climate in all of Canada. So Windsor's referred to as the Florida of Canada. Well, I'm bringing the South Beach of Florida to Windsor.
Okay, I like it.
Because we're lighting this place up, and it looks great. Yeah. And part of that is we had to have an illuminated sign. And you came up with it, and you and I, we worked together. Absolutely, you gave me a suggestion, and we kind of worked together, and bam, that was a great song. It looks like it's a great song.
Yeah, really, it's
a great song.
Walking up the street, you can see it.
Absolutely, it draws your eye.
So, absolutely. Well, Ray, I appreciate it. Great concept. You did a great job, and I appreciate it. Thank you for everything.
I'm going to get you to do some more neon signs for the interior as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know where to find me, out the street.
Brother.
All right, brother, I appreciate it.
Thank you.